second grade. I'm so excited to be introducing to you our brand new knowledge unit. I hope that you guys were able to complete your Civil War assessment the other day and that you worked hard and that you learned a lot. I'm excited to say that we're moving into a really, really fun topic. Okay, this is the topic of immigration. And this topic is so much fun to learn about. And you already kind of will know a lot about it because of all of the other topics that we've talked about and some things in social studies that we've talked about too. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Okay, and I'm going to take me away so that you can kind of be focused on the screen. And we're going to get started. So the first thing I kind of want to do is review with you some things from the past that you've learned, okay? Remember that people were choosing to leave England and start a new life in America. And why was that happening? Yeah, that's right. They wanted their freedom. They wanted to have their own government. They wanted to be able to practice their own religion. They wanted to be able to, have a job with wherever they wanted and be able to have a better life, right? All those kind of things that we talked about. I also want you to remember that once the colonists moved into and it started expanding west in America, right? There were already some people living there. Who were those people? That's right, the Native Americans, okay? I also want you to remember that once the Declaration of Independence was signed, we were officially our own country and we became the United States of America, right? And then we were expanding west and creating all of our states, and our country was in a pretty good place, right? So that's going to bring me into the next kind of section. And I want you to answer this question out loud. Okay, I'll be listening for your answer. Have you ever had spaghetti? Okay. Have you ever had tacos? I love tacos. Have you ever had like egg rolls or fried rice? Yeah, me too. I love all those foods. Now, you can get those foods anywhere, right? All over the United States. But these foods were not originally from the United States, right? They came to the United States from kind of their home countries, right? So spaghetti was an Italian dish from Italy, right? And so people who immigrated to the United States, right, brought kind of their traditional food to the United States. And so now we have those things, right? So immigration is leaving one's homeland or home country, entering a new country, and making a new life. Okay, we're going to learn all about that today. All right, lesson 1. Okay, today we're going to learn about the motto, E pluribus unum. Can you repeat that? You might be thinking to yourself, I've heard that before. I've seen that before, right? On these coins. I've seen that on the coins. And that's true. And I even pulled up an additional coin for you that's a little bit closer, right? Here's that phrase. Okay? You're going to learn about that phrase today. Here we go. Here's a question you may have never asked yourself. Why would someone leave the home he or she knew, travel across a wide rolling ocean, perhaps under uncomfortable or dangerous conditions, and move to an entirely new country? This is one question we have to think about if we're going to understand how the United States of America began and how it has become the wonderful country it is today. A nation made up of many different people from many different countries. The United States is sometimes called a country of immigrants. Immigrants are people who leave their home country to settle in a new country. You may have learned about some of the people who traveled from Europe to the New World. Remember, European explorers called North America the New World because it was new to them, right? It was a new discovery of land. And that was a long, long, long time before we, transitioned into being the United States, right? So that was long before. But there were already people living on this land in North America, South America, Central America, and even on some of the islands in the Caribbean Sea. We use the term Native American to refer to those like the Wampanoag and the Lakota Sioux who were already living in North America before the Europeans arrived. Maybe you remember the Maya and Aztec people who lived in Mexico, or the Inca whose empire spread across Peru, Chile, and other lands in South America. To these groups, the places where they lived were not new at all because their ancestors had lived there for centuries. You guys know what ancestors are? That's right, they're the relatives who come before you. Good. Europeans traveled to the New World for many different reasons. For example, Christopher Columbus came looking for a shortcut from Europe to Asia. Spanish explorers, such as Cortez, came looking for wealth. Later, more people came from Europe who were not just explorers. Some wanted to bring their religion to the people already living here. Some were poor who thought there was a chance to make money to take back their homeland, where they hoped to lead easier, more comfortable lives with their new wealth. Others were adventurers, attracted to the excitement of being in a new place. The greater number of these travelers to the North and South America did not actually want to settle in the Americas and make the New World their home. Instead, they wanted to return back to their own home country after gaining some wealth or making new discoveries. Right? So they weren't really planning on staying. Then, much later, a group of people that we call the Pilgrims were looking for a place where they could follow their own religion without being told what to believe by the King of England. Back in England, they were known as separatists, and they lived in fear of being arrested and thrown in jail for not having the same religious beliefs as their king. In order to meet together and practice their religion without fear, they decided to leave England behind. They hoped that there would be plenty of room in the New World in which to have the freedom to live and practice their religion the way they wanted in their own way. The Pilgrims were not the very first settlers in the New World, part of which we now call the United States. But they were very important because they helped to set an example by doing something new and different. So, what is an immigrant? An immigrant is someone who comes from another country to settle in a new place. Do you remember the question I asked you at the beginning of our lesson? Why would somebody leave their home, right? All the the way of life that they know, the food that they know, and move to an entirely new country. That would be so scary. Why would they do that? Well, reasons the immigrants leave their homes and come to live in a new country are called push and pull factors. Okay? Factors are reasons something happens or doesn't happen in a certain way. Okay? Push factors are the problems in one's home country that would push you away, pushing you out of your country and making you leave. Okay? So I want you to look at kind of these pictures, and can you see some push factors that would make you want to leave? Right? I mean, look at this. This looks like maybe a big flood. This looks like a big tank. Maybe that means that there's a lot of violence and war. Right? This looks like buildings are broken and eroding, which means that you don't really have a good place to live. And this picture looks like maybe everybody's trying to get water or everybody's trying to get food, sorry. But there's so many people in only one, container, right? Those might push you away. Oops. For many immigrants, money problems, trouble with their government, and lack of religious freedom pushed them to immigrate or to move to a new country. On the other hand, having more freedom and more job opportunities than are originally available to them in their home country will pull people or encourage them to move, especially to the United States of America, right? Pull factors are things that are so cool and so exciting that they pull you in, they pull you toward it, right? So can you think of some things just by looking at this photo, right, that shows you why immigrants would be pulled to the United States, right? This is a great photo, right? Freedom. What's this picture? You can vote, democracy, right? We've talked about that. There's no king or queen, right? People get to make decisions. How about this one? Yeah, a lot of different jobs, right? A lot of opportunity to work and make money and provide for your family. And this one is being able to practice any religion that you want. Good. There are many freedoms: freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and these things are protected by the American government, right? We've talked about that before, right? These are your rights. You have rights when you are a citizen of the United States. These freedoms and opportunities attract people to the United States. As you can see, this is a dollar bill, right? What phrase do you see right up here? That's right, e pluribus unum. And although many immigrants come from different places and for many different reasons, they all become part of the United States of America. Americans have come from many nations and have brought many ways of thinking in order to form one nation that allows and encourages different beliefs among all people. E pluribus unum means out of many, one in Latin. And it's a good motto for the United States. Remember those coins that you looked at? If you look on the back of any United States coin or dollar bill, you can find this motto. What do you think that motto means? out of many, one. Today's Americans are sometimes immigrants themselves, or they may come from a long line of immigrants before them. This means that some Americans have ancestors who were immigrants. Remember what ancestors means? In the days ahead, you will hear fascinating stories about some early immigrants. And you will also learn about the enormous risks people took in order to immigrate to the United States, because it wasn't always easy. There were many hardships and difficulties that immigrants faced when they first arrived in their new country. And as you will learn, it's a chance new immigrants are even taking today. Thanks for joining me on this fun adventure. For your Flipgrid video, I want you to answer the question. You heard about the motto, E pluribus unum, right? Out of many, one. And I want you to just do a quick Flipgrid video and tell me, what does that motto mean? And why is that represent the United States? Okay. All right. I hope that you enjoyed this, this lesson, and I'll see you next time.